Welcome to the Matrix World, your go-to resource for applicable, real-world tips and insights to help you create a successful, sustainable, mission-based business. Hosted by Karen Curry Parker and Michelle Vandepass. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or any other podcast platform, and learn more about our virtual co-working community at thematrix.world.
Hi, this is Michelle Vandepass, and I wanted to share with you today this very special podcast that my business partner and soul sister, Karen Parker, did for our members of the Matrix.world. This was originally a private video to help all of our community understand what it might mean when we go into confusion, which we all do sometimes. But her information is so powerful, I wanted to make sure that you also had a chance to listen and watch this podcast. It was filmed originally during Thanksgiving week, but the information is relevant. So no matter when you're listening to this, take it in with an open heart and then let us know your takeaway and how you enjoy this podcast. Thanks for listening.
Hi, Karen Curry Parker here, and I want to talk to you guys about one of my favorite topics. And you're going to laugh when I tell you what this topic is, but it's a really interesting, insidious thing that we sometimes allow to sabotage our success. That thing is confusion. So one of the most common things that my clients say to me is that they are lacking in clarity. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They don't know what their business should be like, or they don't know what fill in the blank should be like, and they feel confused. When we think about confusion from a human design perspective, confusion, first of all, is not logical. And when I say it's not logical, what I'm saying is that there is actually in the human design chart a gate, which is an archetype that represents a certain energy that we all explore and learn from, a gate that is actually called confusion, and it's in the inspiration center or the head center in the chart. Sometimes what happens for us is we get an idea, we get an inspiration, we get excited about it, and with that inspiration, we don't get the how delivered simultaneously. So sometimes you get big ideas, big visions, big perspectives, and in conjunction with that inspiration, we don't always know how we're going to make that inspiration or that idea come forth into form. What many of us tend to do is try to figure out the how. And when we can't figure out the how, because maybe it's a brand new idea, maybe it's an idea that involves a certain amount of learning or growth or expansion. Maybe it's an idea where the timing isn't quite right yet. Maybe it's an idea that's so big, so right-brained, so holistic in the way in which it inspires you. It takes a little bit of time to kind of percolate and figure out what's the most important next first step. When we can't immediately figure out the how, because so many of us are so deeply entrained to judge our ideas based on the how, meaning we're taught from a very early age, but from school, even from our parents, from our families, that if you have an idea and you don't know how to make that idea happen, then your idea is stupid. And maybe even you yourself may have learned that there's something wrong with you because you have a big idea and you don't know how to do it. Sometimes I like to invite my clients into exploring what the meaning of knowing how means to them. And if you are feeling in your business confused or overwhelmed, or you have a big idea but you don't know how to make it happen, or maybe, and this is true for some of us too, you have a big idea but you're worried that you don't have the resources or the energy or this capacity or even the skill set to manifest that idea. When we get into that inadequacy, that very sometimes subtle, sort of insidious inadequacy that comes from thinking we don't know the how, we tend to then stay in confusion. We pretend that we don't have clarity, that we don't know what we want, when in fact it's not about not knowing what you want. It's about not knowing how to create what you want. When we created the Matrix, one of the things that Michelle and I really got clear on ourselves was that we get that energy. It is when you're an inspired human being, as all of you are, and you have big ideas, you don't always know the how. The beautiful part about the how is that when you are clear about what you want, eventually the how begins to unfold in front of you. Not always the big picture, not always all 35 steps of the how. Usually it's just the first next step shows up. But if you give up and you bail and you let your subconscious defense system that is really protecting your heart and your self-esteem and maybe your self-worth and trying to keep you locked into a place of not feeling badly about yourself because you don't know the next right step and you've learned from your life experiences that your ideas don't matter if you don't know how. That if you're letting that subconscious part of yourself take hold in a protective way and you're not letting yourself really be honest with yourself, and we all do this, by the way. This isn't just you. This is me. This is Michelle. This is a lot of people on this planet have big ideas and we think, oh, if I don't know how to make this big idea happen, I suck. I do this all the time. I will tell you this. It takes a lot of practice. And for me personally, a lot of practice. In fact, literally, this is my journal. I've literally been writing about this for the last couple of weeks, that I have some big visions for my business and I don't know the how. I have some really big places where I want to break into and I'm ready for a breakthrough and I don't know how. But what I do know is that I can't let myself buy into the idea that I'm confused about what I want. I'm not confused about what I want. And I might lovingly and gently suggest for you that maybe you're not confused either. That you know what you want, you just don't know how to create it. And that's a little bit of a different thing. I have studied Transcendental Meditation for almost 35 years this January. I have been practiced meditation for 35 years. My meditation teacher was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And one of my very favorite lectures that he gave, that I think is a beautiful lecture that has grounded me a lot when the how freaks me out and I start to pretend like I'm confused. I don't know what I want, okay? He said, it doesn't matter what you commit to something. And that power of that statement changes everything for me, because I have to go back and remind myself of that a lot. When you make a commitment to be open to the first step, to be honest about what it is that you really want, to suspend the limitations of your linear mind, and to trust that because you already have an idea, you don't get ideas without ultimately being given the capacity to also manifest those ideas. That when you commit to that idea and you take one step even in making the commitment to that idea, and that might be as simple as logging on to open office hours in the Matrix, or coming to our open coaching calls in the Matrix, or doing one of the quick win classes. For example, the money class, for example, is a good one to start with in the Matrix. When you make some kind of an act that is a reflection of that commitment, I have found that about 98% of the time, the next right first step shows up, because the universe, or the quantum field, if you want to talk physics, the quantum field begins to collapse potentials that are aligned with your energy of commitment. So I want to invite you this week, as we move into, in America here, the holiday of Thanksgiving, which is a holiday where we move into gratitude, which is simply noticing with heart. Okay, and we don't have to get all mushy gross about it. It's just noticing with heart. I want to invite you into noticing with heart all the places in your life where you are getting signs, confirmation, support, information that is bringing you information about the next right step to take in your business. I want to invite you this week, especially this week, because this Mercury retrograde that we're going through right now is really inviting us to explore the theme of your habits, the themes of your focus, the themes of your power and the themes of money, and how money, power, focus, and attention and habits all play in an arena to activate the full essence of your power and your money. And while we're in this Mercury retrograde cycle, I want to invite you into exploring the question, if you knew how, if you could suspend all of your disbelief, if you could suspend all of those places where you feel less than, maybe because you think you don't know what the next step is for your dream. But if you could just simply dream without having to worry about, well, how am I going to make that happen? And where am I going to find the money? And I don't have a list, so I have nobody to market to, or I don't have anybody on Facebook to market to. I don't know how to make graphics. Whatever the I don't knows are that sometimes take up so much of our mind space. To transcend those mind spaces and to simply ask yourself, what would it be like if you could really bring your dreams into fruition? Take some time to go on a fantasy journey with that this week and start appreciating all those places where, those tiny places, it doesn't have to be huge places, all those little places where those dreams come true or are beginning to manifest in some way, shape, or form. You will be surprised when you stay aligned with your dream and you allow yourself to actually own that dream, to really let yourself be clear about the dream and don't let the, well, that's not possible thing blot out the dream. You'll be surprised how quickly you'll begin to see the breadcrumb trail that leads you to the next right first step in your business. Don't let confusion or the pretense that you are confusion confuse you about the truth of what you want and the truth of your dream. That's my little message for you today. I want to really encourage you, and we'll put a discussion forum up about this, really encourage you this week to go hog wild crazy about your dream. We're getting ready to launch into a new year, 2019, and the astrological theme for next year is rewriting the story of who you are. Michelle and I have put together this incredible program that is the Matrix Manifesto that we're going to begin releasing to you guys. Is going to take you through really easy, simple, step-by-step program that are going to help you flesh out that dream, rewrite that story of limitation so that you create a story for yourself that's a story of possibility. And we're going to invite you into exploring, where are you holding yourself back? What is your life purpose? How do we create a business built on your big why? And what's the next right first step, the next actionable steps you need to take, and how you can hold yourself and be in this matrix with us, be accountable for taking the actions necessary to really manifest that next right step. So we got big stuff coming for you. So don't let the confusion about the how cause you to think you're confused about the what. All right? I hope you guys have a great week. We're so thankful for you. The conversations we've had, the explorations we've shared together, the coaching we've done, the happy hours we've had, the book groups we've had. You've given us so much inspiration about other things that we want to share with you. But first, let's keep it simple. Start first with reconnecting with your dream, right? Do that. Have a great week. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Want even more of Karen and Michelle? Don't forget to subscribe and head on over to thematrix.world to join our growing virtual co-working community for even more amazing content and coaching.